Good evening all, this is Quentin again, back with you in the left seat of the Piper Warrior PA28161 on the grounds of KPNE, Philadelphia Northeast. And it's late, sun is setting. Check out that wind. I love X-Plane. And I had planned to fly to Lancaster, Pennsylvania. But I was really inspired by that last flight I took in Sweden to fly to some place that's not nearly as familiar. And so we're going to fly just a little further and go to Harrisburg International, MDT. And we're going to perform an ILS approach to their runway 31. I expect the weather there to be a little rainy, and I expect it to be getting dark by the time we get there. It's 6:40, well, 6:39. Going to try and be wheels up by 7 o'clock, and yeah. So like I said, we're going just a little further than boop. Just a little further than Lancaster. We're right here in Northeast Philly. My thoughts are to track inbound on the Pottstown VOR, and then to Lancaster. From Lancaster, see the map ends here and it snaps. From Lancaster, what we're going to do is track outbound on their 269 radial. Well, you know, let me get out of the VFR chart, see if that helps. And no, not really. We're going to track outbound on their 269 radial, and for about 10 miles, and we're going to intercept a is that it? Yeah, we're going to intercept the 182 radial out of RAV right here. That interception is going to put us right on the glide slope, or right on the localizer. And from there, it's just a nice, steady descent into Harrisburg International. Right here on the river. So let's get that party started. See how well I can do this. If I can do this. I am not an IFR rated pilot by any stretch of the imagination. Not in any of my fevered, twisted dreams can I even hope to claim to hold an IFR ticket. So we're going to not bother with the walk around because, you know, just why? Let's get started. As it's an IFR flight, we've got full tanks, and bay doors open. We've got full tanks just in case of the the unthinkable, and we have to divert. Boop. I've already done my weight and balance. It's just me. I've switched the altimeter back to imperial inches, so we are fairly good to go. Fuel selector is on the left at 6:43. Let's get started. Oops. Mags. Fuel pump on. Landing light on. Anti-collision light on. It's definitely going to get dark in the next couple of minutes, so mixture rich. Parking brake engaged. Parking brake disengaged. Parking brake engaged again. Clear to the right. Damn it! Clear to the left. Clear to the right. Clear prop. Nobody saying anything. I'm good to go. Gonna idle at 1500. Check our radios. Pottstown is 116.5. Oops. There we go. 116.5. I should be able to pick up Harrisburg's VOR from the Lancaster region, but I'm gonna track in on Lancaster anyway, which is 117.3, and yeah. So, roughly getting out of here at 299. Yeah, it looks like 299. It looks like everybody's taken off from runway 31, but I happen to know that the local weather is winds 140 at 6, so we should be taking off out of runway 15. Which I'm going to do, and if anybody's landing this way, to hell with them. So, yeah, the weather's, it's okay here in Philly. It's a few clouds at 3,200, broken clouds at 4,000, and overcast at 5,500, and it gets progressively it's supposed to get worse the further west I go, scattered at 27, scattered at 2700 and overcast at 3400, and light rain. So we'll see if that holds for when I get in the area. All right, so runway 15, here we come. Releasing the parking brake. We are rolling. Testing the brakes. We're good. So it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, except for this fast taxiing. Not much is going on here. It's the end of August, and it's back to school for those of you that are either in school or have school-age children. This is I'm very nostalgic about it. You know, like every child that was, you know, in school, I enjoyed summers. Summers were great, but you know, it's kind of a bookworm. I wanted to. I enjoyed being in class as well. So there was a certain anticipation about getting back into school. You know, I dug all that, the shopping, the putting together my my book bag, like, you know, like I was special forces going into a, you know, hostile zone. Yeah, it was all great. There was one little thing that kind of it really is nothing, but I swear to God, if I ever find myself on a therapist's couch, it's probably going to be something. Whoa, really? It's probably going to be something that, you know, I bring up, and that is I'm of a certain age where I can remember that department stores had a section for young boys of a certain size, and it was the husky section. I abhorred the husky section. Why? Because I fit the profile of a husky child. And it just sounded so so demeaning. A husky's a dog, you know? It should be pulling sleds, not being dragged by its parents into the, you know, the fat kids section at Sears. I love my mom. And yeah, it was mildly traumatizing, but you know what? You live, you learn, you lose weight. I also remember the president's, I guess it was the President's Council on Fitness, and they had that song that all us public school kids used to work out to. It's called Chicken Fat, and it was sung by Robert Preston, yes, the Music Man. And listening to it now, it's a fun little ditty, but oh my God, trying to work out to this song as a child, it seemed like a death march. It seemed like a torture test, and it just didn't seem like they were taking it easy on us. Approach path is clear. Should be good to go. It just didn't seem like they were taking it easy on us, and maybe they weren't. I don't know. It certainly didn't feel that way, but yeah, it was just it's just a fun little song. I actually keep it on my phone for when I'm in the gym. I may not work out to it the same way, but it's still kind of motivational. All right. We are ready to go. Let's I'm gonna, since it's gonna be an IFR flight, I'm just gonna pick a number. When you're changing the transponder, always work from right to left, because if you work from left to right, you stand a very good chance of entering an emergency transponder code. And since they all end with 00, if you go from right to left, you eliminate the chance of that happening. So let's do I don't know, 2018. I'm sorry, doesn't go up that high. Let's just do a random number. Yeah, that'll do it. 54 or 64. That sounds like a number I'd be assigned. All right. We're facing runway 15. We're aligned magnetically. And the directional gyro matches. Let's get out of here. Whoops. Let's get wheels up. 4 minutes to go. Full throttle. Releasing the brakes. Oof, really? And that is ugly. Oh, damn it. Let's just... I have the worst time. I really got to do something about the way I handle this thing when I'm on the ground. It is not cool. And I was paying attention. That's the worst part. Ugh. Drives me insane. But I digress. Alright, climbing well, passing through 500. Here's my home. we're not gonna come close to Philly at all. We're actually going to be flying well away from it. So I won't be able to point out any landmarks that that appear in the sim. Speaking of which, I should point out that that is not stock X-plane scenery. Right there. That is the X-plane port of Sun Sky Jet. Their KPHL, Philadelphia International scenery. Because Philadelphia International is so close to downtown Philly, they did the whole airport and just the surrounding areas, because there's so much on the grounds to see. Philadelphia has like any big city, has a fairly unique skyline. As you get closer to the airport, we've got a shipbuilding yard. We've got a bunch of sports complexes. All of this is, fairly, easily visible from, landing and departing planes. So they may as well have, they extended it to Center City, and they did a bang-up job on Philadelphia, and as the buildings that were current at the time. We've got a whole lot of construction going on, so there's even more unique buildings that aren't in this model. But I like it. That works for me, so far. And eventually somebody's gonna do it again. Modeling Philadelphia. Philly simply does not get any love. It just doesn't. It doesn't get any love whatsoever. So when Sun Sky Jet jumped on it, when they modeled it, when they modeled Philly International and the surrounding area, I jumped all over that. They did it primarily for FS9 and FSX. I don't think that there's a P3D, a prepared version, but if somebody ported it into X-plane, I'm sure it can be ported into prepared. We're gonna level out at 4,000. And yeah, that's about it. So one of the things that I like about the lower rung aircraft that I fly, the Warrior, the Cherokee, the Archer, is that they don't have a constant speed propeller. That little blue knob in between the throttle and the mixture on higher performance aircrafts. It just, I don't know. I don't fly those planes, and I really need to sit down with a manual or a book. Well, same thing. You know, and learn the best way to fly them. To use it, because you have an extra set of gauges when you have a constant speed propeller. You have a manifold pressure, and oops. And whoa, the rules that you've come to learn and rely on are just a little different when you're coming from a plane that doesn't have that has a fixed pitch prop, because the throttle controls the engine RPMs primarily in fixed pitch. However, the throttle controls the manifold
Lancaster information delta 2200
the manifold pressure
in 030 at 5, visibility more than 10
in constant speed propeller situations. And I just feel that I would like mess around and do something stupid, like forget that what lever controls what. When I fly a higher performance plane and damage the engine, have to explain to the fixed-based operator that I had a brain fart. So because as nice as the Warrior is, this Warrior in particular, I really should be branching out. It's it almost feels like flying a fixed, excuse me, a constant speed propeller is like knowing how to drive stick, or the aircraft equivalent thereof. Oof. Come on, settle. And I'd like to know how to drive stick in the sky. Well, it's gray, but it's pretty. I like this. I can be alone with my thoughts up here. Yeah, we're flying away from Philly. So, yeah, good pilot's always learning. It's time for me to learn to drive stick. Who knows? I might actually enjoy flying, a higher performance plane. Maybe, a King Air or something. The PC-12 does not have a prop lever. I'm not exactly sure the technology that they use to get the efficiency out of their propeller that they employ, but it does not involve a prop lever. It's one of the reasons why I love that plane so much. Kick-ass performance, but you know, I don't have a whole lot of I can fly it like I would this plane. You know, it's not a whole lot of transitional training to employ for me. Fuel pump off. We are where? On our way to Pottstown. It's 9 miles away. And I'm sliding. Let's get some yaw trim in there. Oh, there's another reason I wanted to track out to Pottstown. I wanted to see if the Pottstown Limerick cooling towers are modeled. Because they're a VFR checkpoint, so I would think that I should be able to look out and see them. But let me get a little closer, and we shall see. Whoa. All right. We're not going to see anything. We are going pure IFR. That was fun. As soon as I went to look out the window, well, not look out the window, as soon as I went external, boom, just hit a cloud that wasn't there. Okay. And we are having, come on, level out. We are going through it. Alright, I gotta focus on this. This is where your scan comes in, people. You can't look out the window anymore. There's nothing to focus on. You gotta focus on your 6. And no matter how you employ your scan, you always come back to this puppy right here. This is what's going to keep you alive. You know, start here, go here. Come back, go here, come back, go here, come back. Go here, come back, go here, come back. So yeah. Did we just come out of it? Let me... A little bit. Pottstown Limerick should be down there somewhere. I think I'm 3 miles away. It says 3.5, 3.4, 3.3. Yeah. So if the clouds, and they're not going to cooperate. Maybe if we get on the other side of it, on the other side of this right here, we can see something, but generally I should be able to see the cooling towers from here. I flew over them once. In the days before September 11th, I flew directly over the cooling towers, and they were in operation. And my flight instructor, he wanted me to, get a vibe for the turbulence that rises from those puppies. And it got my attention. All right, there's Pottstown Airport. The cooling tower should be right next to it, but I don't see it. Oh, that sucks. Maybe they're just... Nope. No cooling towers. I still love X-Plane. Alright, we just overflew Pottstown, so let's track inbound to Lancaster. Come on. There we go. That's not right. This, 117.3. Not sure what happened there, but this is why you double check. If you're tracking inbound towards due west, if you're tracking inbound towards a VOR signal, it should correspond fairly closely to your magnetic heading that you're heading toward, the direction you're flying into. If you're tracking outbound from a VFR signal, it should be directly opposite. I'm heading due west, 270. That flag was, I selected 90 because I don't know why, and that flag flipped to from, and that was very important to catch, because the last thing that you want me to do is turn around and track outbound. So, alright, we're inbound towards Lancaster. I think it's like 35 miles away. Ooh, 30. That was close. So we're going to change the VOR2, radio 2, to let's change it to Harrisburg. I'm going to change it to 112.5. Actually, wait a second. No. I'm going to change it to RAV, because I have to intercept RAV's radial with Lancaster's. So, and we are now VOR again. IFR. We are IFR again. So, Pottstown is out. And I'm changing Pottstown to 114.6. Let's see if I got it from here. RAV, there it is. Yep, I got it from there. All right, so I'm also going to select its 182 radial. One, 8, 2. The intersection of 182 outbound from RAV and 269 out from Lancaster is called Mountjoy, and that's a popular location in central Pennsylvania. I'm going to trim to the right. 1, 2, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See if that helps me from turning to the left. Man, I had the worst time trying to learn how to do basic IFR. Get the plane trimmed up, keep it 1, 2, 3. Maybe a little too much. Keep it trimmed. Keep, while you're flying, stay on radio contact with your controlling agency. Check your position. Know where you are. Know where you are at all times. Being lost IFR is, I don't know. I don't know what. It's bad. It's bad. You know it. You know. And the whole world's gonna... I'm sorry. I got a lot of sugar in my system right now. You're just gonna have to forgive me. All right. We are right under the clouds. That's pretty. I mean, if you're into that sort of thing. Still a little too much. 1. While you're up here, get a little system check going. We're actually using a little fuel. Well, that probably had a lot to do with me throttling up to get rid of those fouled spark plugs. Oil temperature is green, fuel pressure is green, oil pressure is green. Life is good. Yeah, we're still turning. Still turning. 1, 2. The thing about IFR is the control movements that you would normally employ in a VFR situation, you don't have to do as much. VFR is a lot less precise than IFR, is what I'm saying. You have to be real ginger with the controls. You can't over control. You can't overcorrect. And you don't need a whole lot of movement. Like, if I wanted to ascend, I would just raise my nose above the horizon and hit full throttle, And guess what? I'm going up. But in an IFR situation, I would, you know, I would be very ginger about where I placed this dot. You know, 1 bar, 2 bars, 3 bars, depending upon what I was trying to accomplish, how aggressively I wanted to climb. I think I might want to put that right correction back in. Because it's still, the ball is still peeking to the right. So 1, 2. All right, we're going to watch it this time. It looks centered. That looks centered to me. So right now my plane is all trimmed up. I'm on course. Yeah, we're doing the IFR thing. Boop. The planes that I'm used to flying do not have this whole GPS thing going on, so I never had like a top-down display of my position. So this is kind of a luxury for me, and I try not to use it, but at the same time, cockpit resource management, you use what you have available to you. I would definitely use this if I were lost. So this indicates that we are turning again. Seriously? 1, 2. What I was saying, this indicates that we are fairly close to Lancaster, and once I get past Lancaster, I'm going to start my descent, because I have to be at roughly 3,000 when there's Harrisburg International. I want to be at 3,000 to intercept that Mount Joy intersection, because that's what the IFR chart says. I need to be at 3,000. Oof! 100 feet off course, off altitude. That's not cool. My primary flight instructor, he did me a solid during training, because he didn't tell me, and I didn't realize it, but he was training me to commercial standards. And I thought that the private standards were just real rigid, but no, he thought that, I could handle it. So he was training me to commercial standards, and I was just kind of like, oh, cool. And I am letting them slide, so that's not cool. And that's what I meant about maintaining your scan, because I let the altitude get away from me. And I suppose 100 feet off isn't too bad, but at the same time, if you're flying with, let's say, 500 feet separation from another aircraft, and you're 100 feet off course, off altitude, well, guess what? Your margin for safety has just gone down, and you're kind of counting on the other pilot to be maintaining his or her proper altitude. You know, if, Alpha Bravo Echo. That's I should know this. That's Allentown. That's Allentown. Cool. All right, we're 7 miles out from Lancaster. All right, cool. What did I say the weather here was? Few clouds at 3200, broken at 04, overcast at 55. Yeah, that sounds about right. Let's while we're at it, let's get the weather for Harrisburg. See if it's better or worse or whatever it is. Harrisburg is 118.8. So, yeah. .118. .8.
Harrisburg INTL information Delta. 2300 Zulu weather.
All right.
Wind calm.
Calm.
Visibility more than 10.
Uh-huh.
Sky conditions 2700 scattered, 5700 overcast, temperature 24, dew point 20. Altimeter 3006. Arriving runway 13, departing runway 13. Advise on initial contact you have Delta.
Okay, I was right for the most part. I thought it was overcast, or the last report I got was overcast at 3400, so.
Harrisburg INTL information Delta. 2300 Zulu weather. Wind calm, visibility more than 10, rain. Sky conditions 2700 scattered, 5700 overcast, temperature 24, dew point 20. Altimeter 3006. Arriving runway 13, departing runway 13. Advise on initial contact you have Delta.
Alright, normally I wouldn't be chasing the needles like this, especially so close to the airport. I'm a mile and a half away. I just want to be fairly on course for when I overfly it, because we tracked in at 270 and we're tracking out at 269. So basically it's a straight overflight. Yeah, I just wanted to keep it as close to on course as possible, so I don't have to turn as much. And point 3, point 2, point 1, flag should flip right about now. There it goes. Alright, so we're going to track outbound on the 269. Here it goes, here it goes, here it goes. Yeah, baby. Oh. That's still good enough, or that's still good. Alright, so I'm going to begin my descent because Mount Joy is only 10 miles away. Mountjoy, the intersection, that is. Okay. Fuel pump on. Throttle back. Whoops. Let's enrich the mixture. Fuel's good. Fuel's good. Yeah. And if it's few clouds at 2.7, we should clear up. Let's see what happens. Is it soup yet? Yeah, pretty much. Oh, flying under the hood. Oh my gosh. When you're doing IFR training, you don't always have to go up in, IFR conditions. You just can't look outside. So what they do is it could be totally bright and beautiful outside, and they'll slap a pair of horse blinders on you, and they've got a little forward cutout where all you can do is look down. The only thing you can see is your instruments, and it's a little weird. It's a little claustrophobic, is what it is. But you get used to it, and you deal, because when the time comes, that's all you're going to have. And you don't want to look outside. Well, you don't want to get in the habit of looking outside, especially since there's going to be nothing to see except clouds. You can't see. I mean, I can't tell what's going on. It's just way too much. Just way too much to interfere with your a clear vision of what's going on outside. All right, we're at 7 miles out. At 9.9, I expect to intercept Mount Joy. It might even be on the. Matter of fact, I'm sure it's on the GPS. Whoops, other way. Unless this is it, which I doubt. $15. There it is, Mount Joy. You know what? I'm gonna leave it up. I am gonna leave it up. All right, so we're on altitude 3,000, and we're basically tracking inbound. On target for it anyway. And once we overfly it, I'm going to turn to heading 308 and begin my descent, or a descent down to 2200. All right, we should be seeing this move in a second. Any day now. Any day now. Okay. I'm not sure what just happened. considering nothing happened, but I am turning to 308. Did that thing flip and I not notice it? Alright, give me a second, I gotta change to Harrisburg's localizer. And it's 110.9. Okay, I got it. Let's almost there, almost there. I'm low. I think I'm low. There's the localizer, turning to 308. There's the river. That's a 308. Let's trim it up. There's glide slope. We're in the white. We are in the white arc. One notch of flaps. We'll throttle out. We're above glide slope and we're sliding off center line. Runway not in sight. Back on glide slope. Geez, back on localizer. We're high. Second notch of flaps. Wait, I think I see it. There's the runway. Right here, baby. All right. We're fairly on localizer. Slightly high. Runway in sight. Sweet. Getting closer to glide slope. Gonna passing over the outer marker, or close to it anyway. Alright, fuel pump on, mixture rich, fuel on proper tank for time. If this was a complex plane, I would make sure my gear was down. I'm going to wait till I get a little closer to drop the last notch of flaps. We're still a little high. Like, ever so slightly high. Because I got high. little power, because we're on glide slope. Just a hair low, but I'm not offended by it. We're at a descent rate of roughly 250 feet per minute. We're getting high. Little engine out, throttle out. Still not interested in dropping that last bit of flaps just yet. Let's see if I can land here without screwing it up. Feet are planted firmly on the rudder and brake pedals. Ooh, pretty farmland. I don't see 3 Mile Island. Or is that it right there? Is that 3 Mile Island? Can't tell. This is what they call a stable approach. Do not screw this up. Talking to myself, not you. Last notch of flaps. Two white, two red. Level your wings. What are you doing? This is picture perfect. You screw this up, you're a slouch. Runway is made. .500 feet per minute. 2 white, 2 red. Glide slope is perfect. It doesn't get any better than this. Do not screw this up. Okay. Little low. Come back to center. All right. Engine out. Flare. Easy. Easy. Not acceptable. I kind of dropped it in, apparently. You know what? I'm not offended by that. I'm not offended. All right. Warrior. What's my number? Warrior 8289 Alpha, clear of runway. Harrisburg International. What is that? I wonder if my spark plugs are fouled. Don't know, don't care. All right, so that was my IFR flight from Philly International, Northeast Philadelphia to Harrisburg International. There's a lot I probably did wrong. You know, certainly not following any IFR departure procedures. Obviously wasn't in control, in contact with a controlling agency. The only real IFR portion was, you know, the altitude hold, the altitude selection, and radio navigation. I mean, it was perfunctory. I'll probably review this and give myself a better grade. I just don't feel too good about it right now. But it is what it is. Primary taxiway. Where do I want to park? Because there's a lot of big planes over there, and I don't feel like hanging out with them. Ooh, Cargo City. Federal Express, UPS. Yeah, I'm definitely not parking over there. I don't think it really matters. Okay, so thanks for flying with me. If you have any questions or commentary, drop them in the comment section, and I will do my best to get back to you with a complete response in a goodly amount of time. If you have a departure and destination you want to see me screw up, include that as well. That's it. This has been Quentin Parker flying the Smoking Jet. And I'll catch up with you guys, like, later. I'm out. Peace! Oh, it is raining. Check it out. Cool.